Nancy Reagan, who is now 90 years old, is recovering this morning from broken ribs. Her spokeswoman said yesterday Mrs. Reagan fell at her Los Angeles home about 6 weeks ago. Best wishes to her for hopefully speedy, easy recovery. Welcome back to CBS This Morning.
A disturbing item from a dark day in Ms. Reagan's life is now up for sale. It's a blood vial linked to the assassination attempt on the president.
His son, Michael Reagan, calls the sale outrageous. As Bob Orr reports, plenty of other people agree with him.
In the hours after President Reagan was shot in 1981, doctors sent vials of his blood to a Maryland lab for testing. Now, one of the purported samples has shown up for sale online. An overseas auction house is offering a small glass vial, which it claims holds traces of dried blood from America's 40th president. A 5-inch tube carries the president's name and the last name of his doctor, Aaron. The label has the designation Thor, meaning Mr. Reagan was a thoracic patient with a chest wound. And it's stamped March 30th, 1981, the date of the assassination attempt. John Hybush of the Reagan Presidential Foundation says Mr. Reagan's blood should not be traded or sold like a baseball card.
This is the tissue of the President of the United States. This is something that doesn't belong out in the public. It belongs with the family. It belongs with the estate.
The anonymous seller says the vial of blood has been in his family for 31 years, ever since his mother brought it home from the blood lab where she worked at the time. The auction house has offered no proof the sample is actually legitimate. But historian Douglas Brinkley says there are bigger concerns.
It's just basic human dignity, and this strikes me as being something tacky. It's taking the presidential memorabilia notion to a very bizarre new level.
It's worth noting other very personal presidential memorabilia has been collected and sold before. Facial hairs were plucked from Abraham Lincoln after his death and then worn in his honor. And locks of John F. Kennedy's hair sold for $3,000 in 2010. Mr. President! Some historians, though, argue this auction crosses the line. But the bidding goes on. The sale closes Thursday. For CBS This Morning, Bob Orr in Washington.
It's just strange. I mean, there's no way around it. It's an odd thing to see.
But somehow, when you hear those things, it never surprises you what some people
Sadly, that's true.
Prepared to
and
do.
Especially nowadays where it's so much easier for someone to basically make a buck off of it. But, yeah.